89 Scott Parkin is on the inside of row number 7.
Back to the wheel.
And lights go out and away we go. Well, Stacey using a bit of the grass there. He's keen to make up progress at the start of the race in the Blue Lotus, but it looks like Brad Burns is not quite going to hold on, is he? Phil Knibb around the outside, and the Seat Cupra has the lead of the race then, or does he? Actually a bit further back as well, but side by side still between the two leads. It looks like the Cupra has gone through. So it's Phil Knibb leading, Brad Burns is in second place, and it's side by side a bit further back as well. That's a good start by Ryan Parkin, isn't it, as well? In the Audi, he's up into third place. So it's all happening in the first few corners.
Burns grabbed the lead back at the old hairpin with a pretty aggressive move, but he's back ahead. But Phil Knibb's own great guns in the Seat. We've had contact. Lindley in the Jeanette's gone round. I think he had contact with the Gillespie Seat, and it's in the gravel. Just like at Brands Hatch 4 weeks ago, the Jeanette gets shoved off on the opening lap of the race, I'm afraid. And Alec Livesey in the gravel. They're the Class B leaders, including Scott Parkin, trying to win the championship today. Scott Parkin, who has had 3 wins this season in Class B, but it's all action at the front. Up to third, then it's come the Audi TT, so that's a good start from Ryan Parkin. And he is just ahead of Brett Lindsay, the sometime BLN racer, who is out nowadays in James Collins' M3. So it's a very action-packed opening lap with that mixed grid, and now Parkin's going for second, so the Audi TT is absolutely flying on this opening lap for Ryan Parkin, and he's up into second spot, which is, as I say, a great opening lap. He only started 7th, so absolutely epic stuff, and he's right up with Brad Burns then, the ex-Clio Cup racer that leads the way in the Volkswagen Golf P1. With Stacey's up over the grass now, so this is absolutely frantic stuff. The opening lap, how long is this race, Ian? Remind everybody.
2 hours.
Okay.
And now put it in 3/4. So a long way still to go in this race, and a lot has happened already. And it's Brad Burns leading. It's a great start from Ryan Parkin to get up to second place. He's shown that goal to in this race. Phil Knibb, the genetic is broken, isn't it? I think he's going to pull on, try to get that car back into the race, but Alec Livesey has managed to park a lap along the way. So sadly,
Parkin
as well, who made such a good start to the race. There's the Ginetta pulling off.
Broken front left suspension, I think.
There's a bollard that presumably got to take it out in that instant as well. Drives it going over. So Ryan Parkin, the Darkside Audi, dropping back down the order then, and that has promoted them the Cupra up to second of Phil Knibb as they make their way down towards the TSEs, and then it's the BMW in third. That's Brett Lindsay.
Yes, it's action-packed. What's happened to Ryan Parkin then? Meanwhile, twin brother Scott has got the lead of Class B away from Kevin Glover, so it's a change there for third position because the Cupra of Mark Grice goes up the inside of Brett Lindsay's BMW, so that's a change of position as well. So this is absolutely action-packed stuff from the Club Enduro Championship, opening 2 laps of the race. But Brad Burns is doing a good job out front. Meanwhile, some battles a little bit further down the pack. You've got the BMW there of Luke Browse getting the better of Ben Williams' Cupra. The Audi did make the start. The Matthew Stockford and Alan James car that we thought was going to be withdrawn. There it is, right involved in the battle. Ex-Paralympian medalist Matthew Stockford, I would have started that car. He generally does. So he is involved in that battle. You've got the Ginetta G40 that packed up afterwards from yesterday. Chris Webster just behind. That's a Class B car. Those 4 ahead of Class A cars. That's Ryan Parkin out of the Darkside Developments Audi that has been pretty faultless this season, I think. But unfortunately, it was yesterday. I had a good race yesterday, but it's gone very wrong on lap 2.
Talking of going very wrong, that looks like a car that's blown up, but still continuing. That looked like a massive blow. Who's that? That is the
Carlo Turner Pit Road.
It is the
1 Series.
1 Series, isn't it? The 101 car that's going on. It's drama, but all good. Everyone still continues on their way here. So we've lost 2 front runners in the first 2 laps of the race in terms of Ryan Parkin, and in terms of the Alec Livesey out of Basil Ginetta. But the Cupra now ahead of the BMW and Lindsay up down the 4th base. Then behind them it's the 2 cars, Joel Oswald in the BMW. Then it's Will Stacey, who's very rapid this season as well. Yellow flags away from Oswald. things here with the cars right parking a moment ago. It's still being done in localised gels as far as we can see.
Yeah, that'd be good. We had a similar situation at Snapperton. That race went through without interruption. Let's hope for a similar type of thing today here at Donington Park. There's the battle between Ben Williams and Matthew Stockford in the Dynamics Audi. Chris Webster just behind. So that's the battle being led by Luke Browse for something like 12th position. Ben Williams seems to have been losing positions over the course of this lap, although he grabbed one back there as Luke Browse spins and he gets out of Matthew Stockford all in one.
Yeah, and now he's on the roads of Strobham in the early stages of the race yesterday. The road to this race was rather poor. He was off the circuit at Madgate. So he had a first corner. But that's the Triumph, the Honda, just going past the Lotus, which appears to...
That's the Campbell Castine
exactly, yeah, that's the car which had the gearing which cable replaced.
It's going, but
not very well.
Not really.
It's fair to say. Here's the 176 car going through, that's the Lynch 3.
From the back of the grid up to 19th in 3 laps. So that's good progress for William and Freddie Lynch. Good to see they got out there after problems wrong at the beginning of qualifying. But it's Bradford leads by 1.5 seconds from Phil Nib. This is the best I think we've seen Phil Nib go in this SEAT. He went well in road sports at Brands Hatch a few weeks ago, but in this Club Enduro grid to be running second, excellent effort there. Up ahead of the class championship leaders, I think, are Mark Rice coming into this weekend. Yeah, they're the leading class A championship contenders, very closely for title there. At the back of this group is the class C leader, David Lawrence, who has drafted in Alistair Camp to share his Honda Civic with him this weekend. Alistair Camp, champion in 750 Motor Club categories in the past. And David Lawrence leads Class C by about 6 seconds from Kyle Kelps at this stage within the Class C. And the biggest grid I think we've had from Class C all season long this weekend. It's good to see.
Good time. Class is split based on pounds of weight, based on Class A. Also the Club as well for older machines as the race goes on as well.
Lead gap came down on that lap to 1.2 seconds from Brad Burns to Phil Nib. So the SEAT is chasing the Volkswagen down up front. By the way, we're about a second away from that record pace at the moment set by Chris Boardman. Was that last season, a couple of seasons ago? In a BMW, but it's the front-wheel drive car, so in the first 3 positions in the early stages of this one at the moment.
Set. There's Michael Downing, number 76, in the familiar orange Porsche Boxster, driver from Paddington, in pretty much since the start. It is big supporter of the championship that's involved.
CW Motorsport prepared Boxster S. He, in the middle of 2017, he started racing and started in this championship. He's always focused on this category for the Scotsman.
He's there just ahead of the 56 car of David Lawrence that we were mentioning as well. He's had a good season.
External attack back to David Lawrence, 34 from Derby, so they're a local race. This one, I think, as I say, drafted in double hot hatch champion Alistair Camp to help him out. The Area Motorsport Honda Civic FN2. There's the Honda S2000, car number 11, started by Charlie Dark, and he shares with Dan Asano in that car. That was the car that qualified highest up the order in the Club Cup for the older cars category. We haven't seen so many cars in this season, but a better entry again here at Donington Park, as is the majority of cases really. Lead gap now 1.6 seconds between Brad Burns and Phil Knibb, but the car that was in third position on Mark Bryce has dropped a couple of positions. A slower last lap for Mark Bryce means he's fallen behind Brett Lindsay and Joel Oswick. The two BMWs have moved into third and fourth positions. It looks like they're having a good battle for third spot, so hopefully we'll pick up on that. Cars 40 and 2, and immediately out the live show us the pictures of that battle for third, fourth and fifth. Will Stacey in sixth isn't showing the pace that we've seen from that Lotus Elise all season. It had another head gasket go in the last round at Snetterton. I wonder if they've made some adjustments. Pact hasn't got as much power. They're hoping for better reliability this weekend. So that was a good battle across the line for third position, being led by Brett Lindsay. But there's the leader, not leading by very much. Brad Burns, only a second ahead in this race. Bradley Burns, a 22-year-old from Surrey. He was a podium finisher in the German TCR Championship a few seasons ago, but Rob Baker's drafted him in to the area Motorsport Volkswagen Golf for the last 3 meetings. But he's not able to get away from Phil Knibb in this Seat Leon Euro Cup car. So an older car, the factory-built Seat. It's an area Motorsport prepared Volkswagen Golf that they've been developing and it's been going really well over the course of the last couple of events. I think it had a failure at Spa, but at Snetterton the Golf was running really well, and with Brad Burns' help, the car leading the way here.
Yep, it is. 0.09 seconds there was between Burns and Knibb at the end of the previous lap. About 4 seconds behind Lindsay went to the other battle as well. Between the second car, Mark Bryce also involved as well. So already we're starting to get into traffic. That's the 101 car. Phil goes through that. The car that continues to bounce around there. The car that circulating through. And then the next car we go then on that is that number 10, Ginetta, which is being started in this race by Andrew Shepherd.
Yeah, that car second in the Class C Championship, I think, coming into this weekend. So there's out of the red gate, third place car Lindsay, then for fourth and fifth together. Joel Oswick under pressure from Mark Bryce. After that, Phil Knibb's been hit by that slower Ginetta, and the Ginetta just drifted across the road. Obviously didn't realise Phil Knibb was there. Phil saved the car very well, but has that damaged the car? Because it's had a knock on the back quarter, which sometimes the touring cars are quite vulnerable in that part of the car, so that's very unfortunate for Phil Knibb. Meanwhile, behind a big challenge that broke the Ginetta possibly, hasn't it? That's very slow at this stage. The back of the fourth though, looking very strong between Joel Oswick in that German Autoworks BMW M4 and the recovering Mark Bryce, who had a moment a few laps ago, but it's been a fairly dramatic opening part to this race.
Yeah, what's going on, hasn't there? So right on what goes on with Phil Knibb after that crush. Wasn't it? Chanting of Shepherd. Here we've got the cars making their way through the Dublin heaven. Brett Lindsay pushing there, back end of the car, then down here so just ahead of the number 2 car, which is that number 7. Mark Bryce is there in third. Stacey's still there in fourth position. The RBR Lotus, and then a bit further back, obviously the battle going on down here at that food. What's it take Dave Lemon on 2.45
Yeah, this is, I think, new to us. So this is, I would think, one of the VLN prepared cars, the old M2 355, you would say. Because Simon Glenn, who shares this car, is a regular in the VLN. He's a multiple Nürburgring 24-hour starter. I suspect that's where that car's from, because BMW Motorsport do quite a lot of these in Germany. It's good. It's a car that I thought we would see in this championship before now. So if it is one of those, it's great to see. And don't know so much about David Embury, so he might be a bit newer to racing. But yeah, Simon Glenner, I think a 4-time starter of the Nürburgring 24 hours. And there is a novice spot at the back, so that would suggest David is new to racing. And he's just been lapped by the leader.
He has, and that's been lapped by second place as well. Just a little bit more cautious now, having how late just a lap and a half to go. Jim Pass now the 66 car as well, Hayes, structure driver in the 2.3 litre BMW compact. That's regular Class C.
One last time out at Snetterton did that BMW. Yes, mate.
So Janetta being raised up on the jacks, the seeing what the damage is focusing on the left front, which is where the contact occurred, of course, with the left-hand side of the driver, damage on its driver, which was a vibration or something like that contact. Like scrutiny is down there as well, keeping an eye on what is going on as well.
Will Stacey is now the quickest driver on the circuit, not the fastest lap, apparently the quickest car out there. He's caught that groove. So second, third, fourth, fifth and sixth are all together now. There's Stacey. Excellent job again from the Alpha Live team to get the cars that we're talking about on our TV screen. So second, third, fourth, fifth and sixth all coming up towards McLean. They've got a car to lap. So Phil Knibb squeezes past the Kelt's BMW. Brett Lindsay now right on terms with him. Brett Lindsay, the driver from Kent. Another driver that's racing the VLN, nowadays known as the Nürburgring Land Tracker Series NLS. Racing Europe as well with Brett Lindsay quite a bit, but they're sharing this BMW with James Collins, the car owner. The car in the early parts of the season was raced by Nigel Greensall, but Brett Lindsay is now the driver to share the car. That BMW M3, great to have one of these E46 M3s on the grid again this season. We've already got a track limit penalty very early in the race, so that is Mark Rice. He's been given a 5-second penalty. Mark Rice has got a 5-second penalty for exceeding track limits.
Okay, so...
And he is under pressure from Will Stacey.
Stacey is almost alongside there, but I think in a straight line with the drag the latest. Will Stacey is the fastest man on the circuit. Let's see if he can make a position to keep that 5 seconds on that. Spain third down there through. As well for the back of the 476 car. That's the division 3, which is as well for the back of a 5-second penalty.
Very early to get a penalty. Stacey quicker than through the old hairpin, tucked up right behind the stand. The closest tiny car in comparison. There's quite a bit of traffic upcoming. Here comes Lindsay to the inside of Phil Knibb. Can't quite get there. I think with Lindsay perhaps a bit more experienced, and Knibb's got a penalty now. This could get a little bit frustrating, I think, if this carries on. They've got to pass the other Rob Boston Lotus there. So Knibb and Rice in this group, both with penalties. But yeah, he's been caught by Brad Lindsay. Lindsay had a big challenge there into McLean, couldn't get past though. But yeah, my point is that Lindsay's done a lot more endurance racing than Knibb has, who's got caught up in the traffic behind David Lawrence, the Class C leader, and this is the chance of Brad Lindsay to pounce to go either side of Lawrence. Very spectacular stuff, and Joel Oswick is joining in as well in the BMW M4 with the next two not far back. And Knibb's going to lose one position to Lindsay, he's going to lose a second position to Oswick. Not quite, I don't think, in that BMW M4 with a 6-cylinder twin turbocharged engine, and Knibb trying to fight back, can't quite get past Lindsay there. This is an excellent battle here between, I think, 5 different types of car as well, isn't it, involved in this?
Yeah, and of course all of this is allowing Club Enduro to get away out in the lead of the race. The gap now 7.5 seconds, first to second place now being Brett Lindsay in that field. Just caught to that Michael Downey, caution boxed as well from a lower class. There's then Oswick fourth in the Josh was saying, then the Rice Cupra, and then Will Stacey now on the inside of the Cupra at the old hairpin. Has to take a lot of curve on the inside of the old hairpin and can't make the move there. That was a very close moment indeed. I thought it could have turned out into a sizable collision, but sadly, unfortunately, it did not. Both survived. Just back in fantastic for us. Honda Civic, the FNT. Then past him.
Another chance for Stacey here into Coppis on the inside line, I think, of Mark Rice this time. So is this job done?
Yeah, it's Coppis corner. It's on the road. goes Will Stacey now. So he's kind of smart couple of accumulators as the race goes on. Drive-throughs as well. That's the MX-5 that's gone off that road.
That's James Dennison from Car Magazine, so that's be an interesting write-up in the mag in future weeks. As Joel Oswick goes up the inside of Phil Knibb to grab third position at this stage, and he goes through. But going back to that Mazda, the reason James Dennison is driving it is that car running on synthetic fuel, so that is a good news story from Car Magazine to write about. I think James is finding out what it's all about over the course of today. Here's out of a second though, up across the line. Brett Lindsay now in second, Oswick up to third, so the rear-wheel drive cars are coming strong now, so does that mean the front-wheel drive cars just started to use their front tyres up early on? And for Phil Knibb and Mark Grice, they're dropping away as they lap the Benz Mazda, the car driven by Ben Short and Ben Hansey over the course of this race.
Update from the pit lane, the attention negative contact. Phil now had to change the record, the rim was broken. And the 74 Lotus, that's the one thing you can see in the pit lane now. It's been getting stuck periodically in third and fourth gear, so that's the one that had the broken gear leakage in qualifying. They changed it on separately, and now some more work he's doing in the pit lane. So it's been a test session for him now.
And Stacey dives up the inside of Knibb and almost got squeezed out just like he did earlier. It's a very small car to squeeze into positions I don't think are quite as large as what Stacey hopes they're going to be. We can't quite get past Knibb here, but the two touring cars definitely falling away at this stage of the race. As now Mark Grice tries to get involved, he's going off the circuit though because of that challenge all over the curves, and that's time lost then for Mark Grice in 6th position. What further news in the pit lane is another gearbox issue for car number 100, which is that Mazda that just went off the road, James Dennison. Another car has been off, number 20, that's Vitor Imperias in his Honda. He got removed from the race at Snetterton for exceeding track limits too many times. That's what some of the others have got to be aware of. They do it too much, they could get excluded from the event. Stacey's done it, hasn't he? He's ahead of Phil Knibb. He's going to fight back here up and towards Red Knibb. He's done it. Stacey's up into 4th spot now. Be looking, along with Joel Oswick and Brad Lindsay ahead of him, to try and go after the race leader, Brad Burns. The gap 7.7 seconds between the top two at this stage.
Down through the back curves goes Will Stacey then, now up into 4th position on the road.
We haven't really spoken about Class B, haven't we, very much?
Not much.
Scott Parkin leads up, the jumped-in leader by 5.8 seconds over Kevin Glover. So they're the two Golfs, the diesel car and the petrol one. And a bit further back, Chris Glaskett's GTI Golf is 3rd in Class B. And there's that Mazda that's got gear issues. So James Dennison brought that car in after he had that off-track excursion. It's stuck in 2nd gear, and that may be why he pulled off the road. Checking out a bit more than just gearbox issues as well, maybe having a good look into the engine bay here, as you can see. So that's a shame for that car that's running on synthetic fuels. P1 fuel, I think, for that car, trying to demonstrate the drop in nature of synthetic fuels. I think an unrelated issue with this gearbox issue being stuck in gear currently.
Two car there of Joel Oswick in 3rd place, still the back markers there, but he's got a good pressure thing from Will Stacey. The car stopped on the circuit at Hollywood, I'm afraid. That's the Hadley car, the Invitational class car. That's Class B, GTI, and that is a bit of chicane at the moment, so you can try off the road, but some outside intervention to deal with it. Keep an eye on the situation. All things being equal, safe there with pit car involved. Should be able in 6 minutes' time. Phil Knibb's penalty level increased to 15 seconds from 5 to 10, so 5 to 15. Then it goes up from 5 to 10. Examples of track limits.
really know what's going on because there's been a problem for the rest of the meeting. I know it's a longer race, but it's happened sort of immediately as a sprint race distance would be, and everyone should be aware of the regulations. The top 4 drivers have been fine, but some of the others getting quite excessive track limit penalties very early on in the piece. Safety car boards are out.
Yes, you can see the lights flashing. There we go. The yellow, white SC lights. That would be to recover that Golf, gentleman had the Golf, but yes, come on, proper. I said the phone window should open in about 5 minutes, but it won't open while the safety car is out because you cannot take the pit stops or mandatory pit stops behind a safety car. Probably while the safety car is out, I should tell you that all of the pit stops in Club Enduro, they've had to do fixed amount of time while drivers have penalties in addition to that as well. Those that have had successive races and making the back Thursday, 30-second extra to make. Defending from Sheffield, Ginetta has made now 20 seconds to serve at the stop. Has 2 in the 27 mark, Price and 30 seconds for Johnny Hayes and Paul Sciani, car 66. Car 89, Scott Parker, 30 seconds to serve in the pit stops. Christian Classic an extra 10. And the 95 car, which that was 10. Various drivers are going to have to pit stops over 3 minutes. After the first half.
That's why Bradley Burns is trying to build a lead up. He mentioned today he had a 30-second penalty in the cars in second, third, fourth, and fifth. Do not turn to have an extra penalty to serve a pit stop. But obviously with the safety car out, that is going to mean that lead gap will decline. There is a couple of 3 cars that are between Burns and this is that lead gap should expand. Now, hopefully that Honda Civic was in the gravel before the safety car boards were shown.
The Golf is still stationary at the circuits and onwards Golf is now coasting its way down the hill. It's going to the bottom of the hill and hasn't got enough to get any further. Just been taken pull off. Keeps the access road there. Should be able to get in behind the barriers there, I think, and then that proceeds to be a problem.
Yes, so the rescue crew can help with that one. So maybe one further lap behind the safety car. And then after the race gets restarted, the pit window could open too. But there is that Area Motorsport Volkswagen Golf then that leads the races. The latest generation of Volkswagen Golf and Area Motorsport have converted this GTI into a race car. They've got a big turbocharger to bring it up to the 300 brake horsepower per tonne limit that is on Class A. And it's been well developed over the course of the season. Big improvements since the opening round at Croft, and it's now in the car that's certainly going to be one of the top cars in the class. It was a winner last time out of Centre, chasing Will Stacey all the way. And, but you could say it chased Stacey's car into retirement when it blew a head gasket clean the smoke come out as the engine expired. And it was an easy run to the end for Rob Baker to take the checkered flag first. Looking back at the class leaders there, class C leader in number 56, David Lawrence. He shares well as the camp this weekend. We could say David Lawrence won at Croft with Ryder Crowler. This is co-driver Mike Stamford. Park when he was a winner. He won at Spa when he drove solo. Had problems though last time out at Snetterton, so didn't score well there. But it's nothing on terms really for the Class C Championship, where David Lawrence ends up in the overall championship is I think yet to be decided. But he's one of the front runners. But sometimes Class C hasn't been populated enough and he can score maximum points, which from an overall driving perspective is a problem. Only one car between him and his closest class rival, which is Cale Kelts in the German Autoworks BMW that won the Class C final last season in the hands of Joel Oswig. And Cale Kelts travelling over from the States this weekend.
Yeah, and having his very first races yesterday for the Giro. To do some work on that was how the prediction was made, and since then he's racing States where we'll go to. Let's head down to pit lane now. Someone who's had some problems in this race.
Well, no problems yet. Hopefully you haven't got the first lap there, Ian. I'm down here at the area Motorsport end of pit lane, catching up with Alistair Camp, TCR UK race winner. Got to get that in there now. Bigging you up nicely, and rightly so really. Your car leading the class, David in it at the moment, and you seem to be one of the few cars to have had a clean start.
Yeah, we're going well at the minute. Dave's driving well as he does. He obviously knows the car in and out. And yeah, he asked me to come and have a ride around with him this weekend, see what we can do. And yeah, we seem pretty even on pace, so hopefully we can keep going as Dave's going now.
A track that you love, you've had success here in the past, of course, in other categories, fairly recently, in fact. So any excuse to get out there and enjoy Donington, right? I believe you've just done a bit of a mad dash to get down here. You saw the safety car was out, and you were, let's say, doing some research in the grandstand, were you?
Yeah, so in the grandstand for a little and had to do the dash to the toilet, get him to the missus and down here.
Worked well for you, though. You managed to get down, and in the end, actually not putting yet in the safety car. When will you be jumping in, do you think, soonish?
Yeah, probably be looking around the hour mark, but I said to Dave, if he's got a gap, keep going. Don't just come in for the sake of it. Obviously, we're here to get Tim Potts, aren't we?
Exactly, and to do that, you need to get the strategy right. We'll leave you to it, Alistair. Thank you very much for having a chat. I was going to see if I can catch Rob Baker, but I think he's hiding inside. I might see if I can find him in a moment, because his car, of course, is up there contending for the overall lead. Safety car in, though, and racing getting back underway.
Yeah, so safety car lights are out. Safety car is in the pit lane, and we have one car a long way from everybody else there. We've got everyone having gone at the same pace once the race has got back underway, right?
Yeah, the back markers haven't got the speed of the leading car, so actually that means Brad Burns has got a bigger lead than he had with all the safety car, somewhat unusually. Big challenges there as Phil Nim looks around the outside of Will Stacey for fourth. They've got to watch out, they can imagine make time on the exit of the corner. They both were able to tighten their line enough to squeeze past it, so it's a 9-second advantage for Burns over Livesey, then Oswick and Stacey and Nib and Bryce. The fast 6 cars really we've got this weekend. There's that car that was slow behind the leader, so that's why that big gap emerged. There's our Class B leader, Scott Harkin, the championship leader as well. He's had 3 wins this season in Class B, which came at Croft, Anglesey and apologies, they came at Croft, Spa and Snetterton, I should say, for Scott Harkin, those Class B victories. And that is putting him all the way to a potential championship this season, but he's being chased down by Kevin Glover. So right on his tail now, Glover, and they've got a 10-second differential on pit stop times, and that can come back into the advantage of the Glover and Schlavitz pairing. It was a really close contest between those 2 cars last time out at Snetterton 2, and they're just working their way through the traffic.
I suspect we're going to get some pit stop on, so let's quickly run down the order before that happens. So it's number 1, front third is leading on 40 is second, 2 John Osborne is third, 48 Stacey is fourth, fifth is number 92 from Neville with 15 second penalty, 6th is number 27 Mark Rice with 5 second penalty, 7th is number 15 Ronnie Gillespie, 8th the leading Class B is Scott Parkin, out to be further back in Class C. It's David Lawrence and Johnny Hayes.
And while you're saying that there was a change towards the sharp end, because Joel Oswick has taken second position away from Brett Lidsey in that traffic, so the M4 moves ahead of the M3 as Oswick gets second position then away from Brett Lidsey, but they are now 11 seconds behind Bradley Bird. So actually that safety car went pretty well. We've got a touring car battle, and it looks like it's getting quite touring car-esque at this stage between Phil Nibb and Mark Wright. I'm not quite sure how that all began, and it looks like Phil Nibb has held on ahead of Mark Wright. It looked like that was getting quite aggressive for a moment there.
So far.
Another car in stripe is the Mazda MX-5 potential Ben Hansen car with a wheel bearing failure down there in the pit lane, which is a shame for the Mark 1 turbocharged car. There's that battle then between the two Seats. Different forms, both built by the factory, but Nibb's car, the old Settler in Euro Cup spec, where Mark Price's car was built for the TCR regulations. Masses of cars here coming down towards the Melbourne Loop. This is about a Tempest Sport, and the Lynch M3 goes up ahead of Martin Gadsby's Compact. We've got the GTR just behind of the Browse family, and then Matthew Stockford's Audi, all involved in this battle for 10th position. They're trying to lap the Class C cars, which is getting pretty busy as they come out of the final corner and up across the line to complete 19 laps of racing. And then 3 or 4 wide in places there. They'll have David Lawrence and Mike Cooper as well. The new driver to racing this season in that Mazda MX-5. He's just got a lap down on his class leader, David Lawrence. That's quite a battle. And a good recovery this from properly qualifying for the William and Freddie Lynch car up into the top 10 at the back of that car there, 176.
Yeah, and sensing just down there's the Martin Gadsby. Inside the top 10.
Another 10-second season track limit penalty for Mark Rice. They're up to 15 now.
As the Audi has been off, back on again. Stockwood car is back on again.
Slightly concerning rejoin. Pass went straight across the circuit. Hopefully nothing was alongside. So there's confirmation of Phil Nibb's 15-second penalty.
And he's fastest lap of the race, 40.63 now done. So he's got 100 faster than the Bradley Burns car to do it. So that is a further reduction. So it's still outside what it is.
This is about a second in Class C. Cale Kelts in the German Autoworks BMW that won the championship last year. Not far behind it is Johnny Hayes, the driver of Shrewsbury, who finished second in the Class Championship last year, and he won in third in this race in the 1999 Compact with a 2.8 litre engine. And there it is, car number 66 that he shares with Paul Saviani. And this was the car that won the class last time out at Snetterton.
Kelts is coming through. There's the 112 car, and that is the, I can see the license plate on the back of it. It's the front bar of the time coming down, and it is it's in the early stages of the race, the Honda Civic.
10 seconds is the lead margin for Bradley Burns. We're looking at is the head of the Gannon car as the car second in Class B for Kevin Glover, the 34-year-old mechanic, Herefordshire, raced in the VW GTI Championship last year, his first season of racing, I think. No, apologies, no, he's raced quite a long time, hasn't he? But in the VW GTI Championship, also in Brit Car and Track Day Champion 2. 2-litre TSI powered Mark 7 Volkswagen Golf, owned by Jammer Sport. Luke Vince, his co-driver, is well involved with, and they are currently running 3.5 seconds behind the class leader Scott Parkin in the Diesel TDI Golf ahead.
About 40 minutes of this race so far. 1 lap's completed by the race leaders. Getting into that field race, they've got 30 later on. Start getting good stops in there as well.
Well, this is what Germany Autoworks did. Snetterton, Joel Oswald, they came in early at Snetterton because every other round this season they've had safety cars. So filled the car up, think, yeah, we go from here. There was no safety cars, the car ran out of fuel with 2 laps of the race to go. So I wonder if there's a little bit of thinking about that, perhaps some of the perhaps think we're going to go too early. We don't want that mistake, but that's I think a big issue. So that is something that happened in that previous round at Snetterton when they were running in a podium position. John Oswick second here today, because their thinking was run the car as light as possible because it's such a competitive championship. But well, if you're running light enough and there's no fuel in the car, that goes against the object, really, doesn't it?
It does. Second place class B car, the Jammer Sport shared the there is again. Just on coming in now. There's the Mellows with Toto and Gallon Park. Last car into the pits has come through there, also going into the flyer heading into the pit lane, so we're now starting to see some pit stops filling in. Now is that pit stop? Is that further up into the it's pits or not.
Part of the temp continues between the Lynch family BMW and Martin Gadsby's car. So that battle is ongoing. And you've got the Browse car in there as well, the same market class machine.
There's the right, unfortunately, not getting into the car there, so it's looking like it's a scheduled stop. It's quite radical, to be honest, to get into the car, so
Can't see the Lynch car.
no, it's just might have just driven through. It's got a bit of clarity. As the next step of
That's the Class B leader, Scott Parkin, the 33-year-old owner of Darkside Developments from Barnsley in South Yorkshire, leading Class B by now 7 seconds over Kevin Glover, extending that lead out. Chris Plaskett is in third. Fourth is the car we just saw there, Chris Webster, who shares his 2.5 litre Duratec engine Ginetta G40 with the car with Matthew Tidmarsh. Chris Webster, I think, is the owner of the car that he bought from Rocco.
patched up, isn't it, after some dramas yesterday in the road sports race.
Now, what's happened to Brett Lindsay? He's not come through. The car number 40, the car that was running in third position, has not come through at the end of 23 laps. It's now come through late, so it's a slow lap into the pit lane. We'll try and pick that up for you in a few moments.
It's in the pit lane, isn't it? It's quite a long lap. So it's parked there. It's 45 degrees as per the requirements of the championship. Parking out, which the pit lane has to get very congested.
Yeah, Brett Lindsay not getting out in a hurry, so again, this is not as scheduled as they would like it to be.
It's a 3-minute stop anyway, isn't it?
Front left tyres come off, and I think that's the front left tyre off. You'll have fuel only coming out now.
There's a bit of drama in the pit lane there. There is the Downey car coming into the scene. He's in the 21st position at the moment. As back out the left place goes the Ryan on the Civic Thai car. You can see what's going on once again with the number 40 car, Josh.
Damage to the car, the front right wing is not on the car anymore, is it? So there is damage to that car. So Ewan won't be far away to investigate what's going on here to a car that was looking for a good result potentially. So for James Collins and Brett Lindsay, potential, well, it is an issue I think, isn't it? They might be turning it into a mandatory stop, but it might be a larger issue than they would have first likely to have been. This though, perhaps more scheduled for Mark Russ.
Yeah, 27 is in entering fourth position. 75 minutes to the edge, freshman Paul Beach taking over from the remainder of the race. There's fuel going into the car as well, so everyone else is clearing the car while all that is happening. And the calculation is rather good there, but
wondering if that's the next thing on the track limits.
Looks like that is the case. Paul Stacey's just on his personal best lap of 1 minute 40.9. He's only less than a second now behind Joel Oswald, BMW and 4. He's running in second place. So that's what we can see on screen now. Heading into Red Deck. In fact, the gap was around that 100th second. They did almost identical that time of Joel Oswald. Paul Stacey's drivers in the field.
Number 21 from Hertfordshire, there he is in that German Autoworks BMW M4 from 2016. Joel Oswald in his third season of racing, last year's Class C champion, moved up to his Class A M4 this year with the twin turbocharged inline 6-cylinder engine, and there's the teammate car.
Yeah, Cal Kelts, it's still got Joel Oswald's name on it from last season. Cal Kelts is that's driving the car this weekend, the American. Those races. So back to Joel Oswald's current maps, the M4. The 2 machine, and he's a little bit pressure on Will Stacey. Reminder that Oswald's going to be extra intelligence as he all has Will Stacey. That's right, so they both in a good position for
Probably the battle for the lead of the race after the stops.
Yeah, because Brad Burns has got 30 seconds on stopped to serve when he hands over to Bob Bacon.
I suspect they'll change the front tyre and that because that's pretty good second actually, but a little bit wrong. The not quite sit properly, so they lost a bit of time because of that, but with an extra long pit stop this time out. I suspect that's what we'll see. Here's that car we saw earlier, the M2, 35i of David Embry, new driver in this Climax prepared BMW. The 2 Series, we've got 2 Series, we've got 3 Series, 4 Series, and a 1 Series BMW. We have the full complement of racing specification BMWs on this grid, and that means that we race anything higher than a 4 Series. This car's getting rather large and heavy, but the M2, a good racing car.
That is the car that position, is it? Number 15 on Gillespie. Drives some starts and some stops, some penalties. Gillespie. There's the Nim car.
Yeah, that's right. And he's in fifth, but catching the car ahead. There's Johnny Hayes, second in Class C, currently 18 seconds behind David Lawrence, but now obviously with Cal Kelts in the pit lane, so moved up to second spot in the ex-Leah McGill car, prepared by CRM Tech. And you can clearly see it on the 66 turns to play out of the S's and onto the Grand Prix loop.
Kel's getting back out to the west, which is not so much Park. Bison has sponsorship as well.
Oswick into the pit lane. Now they've done that stop. Well, position to change to second place. So is that because Oswick was pitted, or had Will Stacey got ahead? Joe Oswick on the road. Second position. We will try and get that done for you as quickly as possible. So there's the Lidsey Collins car back out. Possibly lost time in the pit stop with that drama. Stacey has got ahead of him, although did not pit. The positions have changed to second place. The second of those, Rob Boston Racing Lotus Elises, is the Class A car. And only Will Stacey, the double winner from this season. There he is, 48. He's got ahead of Joel Oswick on the road. So he's slowly working his way through the order.
Yeah, the team car, which has been my time
at Snetterton. I think the plan is that Peter Mack will do the whole race, but if he's feeling not up for it, might sound his mechanic that Rob Boston Racing will jump in the car. But Stacey believes he's going to be racing with Rob Boston today, as he did at Anglesey. So when Andy McEwen turns up, Rob Boston races the car, it seems.
Yeah.
And that gap at 10 seconds has been pretty equal since the pits when the safety car came in. So that's interesting how that's the pace the two cars is going. So it's Oswick starting to struggle with tyres now on that car. Not a lot of power. They actually detuned the car from earlier in the year. Remember at Croft, that car was a rocket ship in the straight line. It was very heavy, so wore its tyres out. So they worked to lower the horsepower and to lighten the car up. And I think they've been generally successful. But he doesn't have the pace that Will Stacey has. It's been a very different type of race for Will Stacey from what we're used to. He usually gets to the front and tries to drive away and build a margin, but this time he's attacking from behind, but it's working out for the moment. He's risen to second and in a prime position with the extra pit stop time we are expecting from the leading car.
Less than 10 seconds now, off the road has gone Will Beach, but he's gone into the race, hasn't he? Having taken over from Mark Price, he's taken there at Bedgate corner, but he's back out into it now. He's just got back on the track there of the Mazda MX-5. But some dramas there for Will Beach, but we're going to head down to the pit lane now. Andy McEwen is down there to see who goes to touch this time.
Well, as we just saw, we've had a change for second place in the race with Will Stacey moving the Lotus a bit further up the order now. Here with his co-driver, Rob Boston, who's going to be jumping in for the second half of the race. And Rob, he's going well out there, isn't he?
Yeah, he's going very well. We started P6, we've been chipping away. Will's been putting in a really, really good performance. Yeah, and well, we're coming towards the hour mark now in P2. We had to do a gearbox change yesterday, so we're not running the optimal gearbox. We've got a manual H-pattern gearbox as opposed to sequential. Which is hampering him a little bit, but we're hoping for reliability. So, you know, to finish first he must finish. So he's doing very well, he's coping very well, and yeah, we're not too far off, so we'll keep plugging away.
Well, let's face it, he ain't going slowly out there either, is he? It's not hampering him that much.
No, I mean, I'll be honest with you, I think with this other gearbox, with the sequential, I think this will be looking quite comfortable right now, but yeah, it's all the same. We're putting our best foot forward, and he's doing pretty damn well.
You've been caught out in the past in these races through strategy and safety cars and whatnot. You've not chosen to make an early pit stop. Any thoughts on why that might be?
Honestly, we thought whilst the car's running reliable, we'll just keep going. We'll go, you know, nice and deep into the stint, and then if we need to, I'm not expecting to, but it gives us the best opportunity to do a later stop. Any mechanical issues can be dealt with to link to the end. So, you know, it's probably not the best frame of mind, but I think it's given our results this year with the Lotus is our best strategy. So that's the plan.
Excellent, thank you very much, Rob. I'll let you get back to the screens now. Rob Boston then looking forward, I'm sure, to getting out on track, hopefully in a car that is contending for the race win.
So 66 minutes of this race left to go. There is our race leader, that is Bradley Burns, just put a lap on the number 8 car, the Gillette G40. 9 seconds
information that we learned from Boston about the gearbox, so that is why perhaps we haven't seen the raw pace of the Lotus we've seen this year on a manual gearbox rather than sequential, but it's going well. The gap is coming down. Will Stacey's just at the fastest up on that car's race, the one at 40.76 in the league, getting down to 8 seconds, which is the smallest it's been since the safety car came in.
Into pits has come number 11, that's the Honda, the Charlie Dark and the 2000 Sano. Based on change it was last season. Rory. Black flag there, someone's getting a drive-through penalty. By Boxman someone else is going to get a drive-through penalty.
Battle of 4 is developing because Colin Gillespie has been caught by Phil Nim. We've got an all-sayer battle again as Phil Nim makes progress.
It's on the road, isn't it? But of course, they still have this 15-second penalty to that time as well.
I guess really the second half of the race is where we're going to play a bit more. Now he's just trying to make track position and progress forwards for Nib. There is P5 down into the Essex.
Yeah, 25, 30 seconds behind Osmond. Third place.
Gillespie, a driver very much involved in the Class A Championship battle, was 5 points behind Bryson Beach leaders, who are 4 ahead of Baker and Burns, and then just a point further back to Gillespie and Driver, and then a further 8 points back to Stacey and Boston, and 2 points to Parkin and Richter, and then another 2 points to Osweg, so it's very close to the Class A Championship battle.
Cars in the lane there, so it could be 95 cars. Also that one since 8 and 2, 3, 5 right, so Simon Blair there. That car is the first one that's going to do so in the that as well, approaching halfway around this race now.
Yeah, Simon Glenn in that car just mentioned Hartford, driving with Paul Derby for our start. That's M2 that we've started there. A few more track limit penalties coming in. 5-second penalties now for 10 and 20 as well. So that's the Janetta, Andrew Shepherd and Rob Fennick, and Vito Papirias' Honda. Battle of the 4th carries on. They're getting past James Collins, who's back out there after that dramatic pit stop. And that car is now in 23rd. And the lead in pit stop, I think, is 17th, and that is Will Beach. So they did lose quite a lot of time, as perhaps expected, in the pit stop. There's Martin Gadsby, who is 7th currently in the BMW Compact, driving solo this time out in the 3.2 litre car. He's still involved in a battle with Luke Browds. I think this has been an hour-long battle, really, between those two.
Yeah, separated by about 6/10 of a second there in P7 and P8 at the moment. The 176 car there, you can see in the pit lane. That's the Lynch BMW that had come from the back up into the top 10.
Looked like it might have been William Lynch that started that. Looks like he just jumped out the car. Good first stint, working his way through the order in the Todd Motorsport BMW with some interesting graphics there just to the left of your picture. Fuel going in. And there is Tom Gannon, who you mentioned earlier. Is it still him, or has he handed over now to... I think he might have handed over now to the car owner, Manoj Patel, who's been racing this car for a while now.
Yeah, certainly has. Running in 26th position at the moment. We've had a few drivers and retirements. So we started with 37, I think. We've lost, I think, probably half a dozen of those cars already. I think we've got 31 that are still in the race at this point in time. I think we're at one point had sort of 39 or even 40 cars possible for the grid today, but a few didn't make it into qualifying this morning.
Now Scott Parkin has just dropped down the timing screen. Does that mean he's in the pits?
Oh, and the Browse car, Luke Browse, who was in that battle with Martin Gadsby, that's had a spin at Redgate Corner, so that battle coming to an abrupt end, it would seem.
It's 89 Scott Parkin has not come through, the Class B leader. Now, is he in the pit lane, or is that a drama for the championship leader, car number 89?
We can see the treble 3 car of Michael Hooper in the pits. We can see Ben Williams in the Capture Motorsport Cupra there as well in the background. Darren Ball sharing that car. He'll be into it for the second half of the race. That's the car that was in the gravel trap earlier on for Totas Piperas in the Honda Civic. Edward Christie just going through shot as well. So I've had just about an hour of this race now. We've got Nib ahead of Colin Gillespie now on the road as well for 4th position.
Scott Parkin is in the pit, so the Class B and championship leader in the pit lane.
Okay, so good that there's no sort of further drama as far as that is concerned. That's Daniel Salo in the Honda now out in the second part of this race.
24th position. Also into the pits, Mike Hooper, the 36-year-old from Gloucestershire, handing over to Thomas Steadman from Warwick in this 2009 Mazda MX-5 with a 2-litre engine, standard car, Jonathan Cryer car. And they made their debut, I think, at Alton Park earlier in the season. Now the Hanksy and Short car's back. That's the car that had an issue earlier with a wheel bearing failure, they thought. So I think they've fixed that up and they've got back out there. Interesting roof on that car.
I was just about to say the same thing. Yeah, it's clearly decided to tack that on the overall cage.
At the last meeting, we had the Alan Henderson Daniel Irving MX-5, which was based on a Mark 1. I think it wouldn't be unfair to say they are prepared in slightly different ways. They're also built to different specifications as well, but good to have the Short and Hanksy car out this weekend and back into the race after some time in the pits.
It's the top 3 at the moment. The gaps are pretty similar. They're all lapping more or less the high 141s at the moment. Stacey and also a car top 3 right here. So this is not really what Bradley Burns needs. He needs to be able to sort of make some ground. If anything, the lead that he had 10 seconds after the safety car has been very slightly eroded today, hasn't it? And of course he's got that 30 seconds.
Now that Simon Glenn in that M2, that looks like it's moving along pretty well, and it's trying to get past the S2000. That car running in 28th position after its pit stop. The Honda is in 22nd, so there is a lap between those two cars. But Simon Glenn's got ahead on the road, so trying to make good progress in this second hour of the race. And it looks like Simon's pushing on pretty strongly at this point. 35 laps done by the race leader, Bradley Burns, 8.3 seconds ahead of Paul Stacey, in chased by Gerald Boswick. But yeah, that does appear that it's going to be Stacey/Boston versus Oswick. We heard from Rob Boston, whose confidence in that car lasting 2 hours didn't seem particularly high after the head gasket issues they've had at the last meetings. It had a very strong start to the season where they won at Crofton Anglesey. Well, I think the car's finished a race since then, which has been rather limited on their success. There's Johnny Hayes, I think, still at the wheel, is he? That car pitted now. It may have done, yeah, it has, because it's back behind Cale Kelch. I think that's now Paul Saviani in the wheel. 30 seconds behind Cale Kelch, so they would have had a longer stop because they were the winners last time out. And there's Alistair Camp taking over from David Lawrence.
That is the car that was leading in Class C. So I think that's just about half of the race. Alistair Camp is in for the second part.
I think that's one of the foundation cars for Tagua at the beginning of the season.
It's more
is still linked to class, so you've got a pit stop. The Class C pit stops have happened sort of that hour point while the Class A cars are continuing on. Seemingly nobody wanted to make that same mistake that we saw in the previous round at Snetterton. So they're going long other than the Grice and Beach car. Let's back up to 11 after their pit stop. Very low if it's not. Now Phil Nibb's been timed at 3 minutes 21, which is a very long lap, but not a pit stop.
Not long into a pit stop.
Almost feels like 2 laps. The transport like it's the lap, but possibly not. See what's done about that. But here's Alistair Campbell leading the way in Class C. It is the first proper endurance race, I think. The 2-time hot hatch champion, and as Andy McKeown referenced earlier, TCR UK winner, I think, in their most recent race. Here at Donington, I think. Andy, correct me, that's top right. But Alistair Campbell leading Class C with Dave Lawrence, the car owner, who started that one with good success, it seems. Lead gap now 6.7 seconds. Will Stacey is chipping away at Bradley Burns' lead. Change to 10th on the green OEM because Mark Guys who handed over to Will B, that car's already made a pit stop now, moves into the top 10 ahead of Joe Williams.
There is the car that was third, that's the number 2 car, Joe Williams' car of John Oswald, last year's champion. He's now waiting to get back into the race because the car is refueled.
Seemingly didn't need too much because he won, Chern went in. Now the car being prepared, I think for John Oswald to get back in. There's been adjustments made to his comfort. And there's the car he raced last year with some great success. He won the driver award, I think. Chris Bartley actually leads Class B so far up the order, and it was good to see him. He's in 6th position.
Yeah, so he's not made a stop in his half.
That's only bits at the moment.
But yeah, Baskin yet to make a stop in 6th.
32 years of age, a car dealer from Surrey. He started racing last season in this area Motorsport 2-litre GTI Volkswagen Golf. And probably slipped down a couple of positions after its pit stop for being Class B, but going long in the opening stint. As you can see at the top of your screen, we've had a new fastest lap of the race from Will Stacey at 1 minute 40.39.
And the gap's down to less than 4 seconds now, 3.58 seconds. It's a slower lap from Blackburn to second 7 as well. So he's very much challenging.
Absolutely right. So a battle for the victory is very much on, regardless of that success penalty for win last time out for Bradley Burns and for Will State for Rob Baker. Here's Stacey, just checking that the Golf hasn't pitted, because I can't see it in front of Stacey. Oh no, it's still there, so he's still chasing it down. So Bradley Burns and Will Stacey both going long on this opening stint of the race. The pit window doesn't close till 15 minutes to go, so there's a long time that the window's still open for. So the strategy is wide open, which means you can do a long first stint, as these two competitors are.
We lost Brian Parkin very early on in the race. He was told that some fuel surge issues all weekend. He was off the road as well, the 176 car there of the Lynches. And also off the road as well, the Ouster Camp car as well, the 56 car that leads Class C. Hadn't leading Class C. David Lawrence started that car. That's gone off the road as well. Now if that's connected with the other car that got off, I'm not quite sure.
Damage, isn't there, to Ouster Camp's car?
There was a bit of trim hanging off before.
But I was looking at the front of the bonnet is well dented, and both wheel trims on the left-hand side are damaged. But I think Ouster Camp was brought in here by Dave Lawrence so they could have a successful day. But unfortunately, Ouster Camp hasn't been in the car very long before it's gone very wrong.
Yeah, just to finish off, we'll see about Brian Parkin. That's just a yellow flags waving there. Fuel surge all weekend. Just low on fuel. Just on lap 2 of the race. So that's the reason behind Brian Parkin.
Ouster Camp's taken a shortcut to get back to the pit lane. He's got a front left puncture, I think. So that might be the drama then for Ouster Camp for the pit. Now this could be a critical time for others to stop, and I think that's Colin Gillespie into the pit lane. Another black flag going out by the looks of things, another penalty. Is that quite damaged, or is it just a bit of an illusion?
I think this is damaged. I think there has been some contact.
So this, how far behind was the Saviani car in Class C? Oh, Kyle Kelts actually. He was right just 6 seconds behind, so Kyle Kelts has gone through to take the Class C lead. Presumably that lap for Ouster Camp will be deleted because he took the shortcut through the national circuit. So big losses here, and what a debut weekend this could be for Kyle Kelts if he can pick up the Class C victory. He is about 25 seconds ahead.
Well, that car's got onto the circuit. It's now smoking very heavily. That's the car that's sticking up. There's including fluid down. It's
damage.
It's damage on the. Well, it's just tyre that
Where do you think that car was in the gravel? Did we work that out? And that's where Ouster Camp was going through the gravel. So
yes, that may have been related, those two cars with damage. But we've had a change with the lead because Will Stacey goes through as the leader. Now that could be because Rob Baker and these co-driver could be in the pit lane. Bradley Burns could put the car into the pits, so we'll see if we can work that one out. But still there in the pit lane. Is that the car alongside? Yes, that is Bradley Burns' car into the pit lane. So Will Stacey takes the lead because Bradley Burns is pitting, but he's not the lead for the safety car that there may have been, but that car in the gravel hasn't dug its way out.
No, it's probably worth a throw of the dice to try and make that stop, so it's still good with the kind of safety car. Can't head into the pits where the safety car is. The chance, of course, that the safety car will quite good to deal with that situation. On the Lynch car.
very few people are left to pit, I think.
One of them, the leader, which is the Stacey, stayed out for at least half an hour more. Yeah, hasn't he?
There's Joel Oswick, who is our leading stopper so far in 5th position. On the next lap round, we need to see where he comes out in comparison to Rob Baker. It should be ahead though, assuming the German Works pit stop went to plan. There's Will Beach, so quite a big gap he's behind the cars that are leading Class A. And there's Scott Parkin just behind the little Lotus Elise of Peter Mansfield, potentially sharing with Mike Sanford. So the cars turn their way through. There's the short Hansi car, so it's carried on. So there's 15. So presumably, is that pit stop done for Colin Gillespie and Phil Driver? Otherwise, will that car pop into the pits? So see where that comes through next time. We'll be in a positive position.
He's in Subiori now, positive. That is in second within the class behind Kevin Feldman, 21st and 23rd, respectively. Lawrence and Cameron, well, 2 laps now behind the class leader Cameron, still showing third.
Yeah, but that pit stops elongated. That means there might Hugo and Thomas Stenton car could be on for a podium just like it was last time out.
And there's the race leader into the pits, Will Stacey. So within 43 minutes of the race left, Stacey currently out of the car, has to be out of the car before the
There goes the Golf. 2 laps down, I think, from Stacey. Rob Baker got out ahead of Joel Oswick. I think we'll have to wait another lap before we get the confirmation of that one. Should be behind though, really. Really, the action is going to be when Oswick comes round versus when Rob Boston gets out into the race. I think Chris Klaskett's not pitted yet. He's up to second. He might well lead the race if he stays out there. Maybe Peter Mansfield. Yeah, Peter Mansfield and Mike Sanford at 11. Otherwise, I think we're probably done for pit stops, as you'd expect. We're heading into this final third of the race. So there goes Rob Baker. So he has to do another whole lap, doesn't he, before we can find exactly where he is in comparison to Rob Boston. But at the end of this lap, we should find out where he is in comparison to Joel Oswick, who. Oswick across the line now is the leading pit stop. So number 2 has jumped number 1 in the pit stops as we thought would happen because of that success penalty.
So let's see what the gap's going to be now he's going to go Baker, so the gap between them is going to be about 21 seconds,
Which makes sense, about 8 seconds, 30 seconds differential.
which is just both of their pit stops are about the same.
Is the Lawrence car going into the garage, the Class C Championship leading car is going into the garage there. So we're looking at Rob Baker, but we know that car is probably going to drop down the order in this pit stop period. There's Will Stacey giving Rob Boston a few words of advice perhaps about how the car is feeling. Really, we'll pick up number 2 if we can, Joe Oswick, the BMW, because he comes out where he is in comparison to Rob Boston. It's the race for the victory in reality. So we're looking for number 2, and I think the latest pit stop coming to an end here.
Yeah, there's the Stacey and Boston car being pushed back out and into the pit lane and back out into the race. So I think it is a Frost trap position.
Yeah, the BMW's at the final corner, so I think Rob Boston's going to be ahead.
Looks like it's just to be where that car is now. That's just about to come across the line. I think that you see in the moments that Boston is right on the wood.
Good shot for the 2 German Autoworks cars, they've in shot together there at that moment. But yeah, the Rob Boston Racing team have got that car turned around seemingly in good time. And Rob Boston then is the effective lead, although the actual lead at this point is going to be Chris Plaskett's Golf. Yet to pit, but the effective leader would be Rob Boston in 48. Second is going to be 2 John Oswick. And third is going to be 1 Rob Baker. And now over the remaining 40 minutes, we need to find out the pace of these 3 cars. 2 of them are different drivers in now.
There's Rob Boston. That's on the screen now for those of you watching. There is Oswick. And back.
Baker's task is difficult, but Rob Boston versus Joel Oswick is an intriguing one. You wouldn't expect Rob Boston to be any slower than George Stacey, really, but whether it'll be any quicker, I think, is the question. They will rate that car a lot more. Well, I'm sure Rob Boston's also contested. There's Rob Baker, who's effectively 3rd in the race now. It was the leader before the pit stops, but with all the 30 seconds compensation time, success penalty, whatever you like to call it, for winning the previous race, that has adjusted things in Class A. There's our Class C second place car, Paul Saviani. He's 20 seconds behind Cale Kelch, just a little bit quicker on the last lap, so that is a gap to monitor in the remainder of the race. Now that driver change has happened, has Paul Saviani got the pace to catch Cale Kelch? We'll continue to look out for that later. I think in a few moments' time we're going to head back down into the pit lane and have a chat to Andy McEwen, who's in the lane.
What's going on in the situation for the lead, Josh?
I think the gap is 7 seconds between Rob Boston and Joel Oswick, so Rob Boston gained some time in the pit stops, and that is the gap to monitor. But I think we're going to be able to have a word now with Andy McEwen, who's down there in the pit lane.
Guys, yeah, found the unmute button this time, and I can now have a chat with the car and the driver of the car, which came in as the race leader. Success penalties really changing the complexion of the race, and Area Motorsports number 1 car definitely suffering from that. But Bradley Burns, an excellent opening stint for you nonetheless.
Yeah, it was okay. I think an hour and 10 or so. The front tires just going off, so I thought it was best to go off by the time we get Robin with the set fronts on. Hopefully you can get the time a bit quicker. We struggled at the beginning with the weight, fuel, and then middle was alright, and then it just started going off again, so I think it's best to put a set on and then go from there.
Are you finding that the new surface here at Donington is increasing tyre wear on that left front? A few front-wheel drive drivers have told me that might be the case.
Yeah, I think so. It's definitely going a little bit faster this year, so I think it's more grip. It's just hitting the tyres up a bit more, so it's best to come in and work some sort of
Obviously still trying to work out exactly what all of these success penalties mean, but it's going to be a close run to the flag. You've got the right man for the job there, haven't you? Rob knows what he's doing.
Yeah, Rob knows what he's doing. I think we're third at the moment. Penalty, extra on this, so we'll just see what happens at the end. That's what it is.
Good stuff. Thank you very much for having a chat. So Bradley Burns there. Now drama behind us for one of the Rob Boston Racing Lotuses. It's actually the other one that I want to try and update you on. This is the number 19 actually having its mandatory pit stop, but somewhere lurking in the garage is Will Stacey, who of course was involved in that battle near the pointy end in the early part of the race. I can actually just see Will toweling himself off in the garage. Let's have a wander through. Will, can we grab you for a second, mate? We'll get out of the way of the pit stop so that we're not interfering too much and have a chat with the man of the moment, really, in the early part of the race there, Will Stacey, who was charging through the order after a slightly loaded grid position. But Will, you were second place when you handed the car over. Got to be happy with that.
Yeah, we're really pleased. We had to, before today, we had to change the 8-valve gearbox, so we didn't have as much pace as usual. But we managed to, we had not the best quality, it was a bit down, got a few laps allowed for the track limits. But once there, we had to just have enough pace, put it in the laps, managed to get past Joel with a bit of traffic in the M4, and we managed to get pretty much on the back of the Golf. And now obviously Rob's back out, he's about 5 seconds ahead of Joel, and about 30 ahead of the Golf, because they had a success penalty. So yeah, I mean, I know Rob's got the pace, so he's just got to keep putting the laps in, keep the gap to the Golf, and try and look after it.
Absolutely, try not to get run over as well. You mentioned there the gearbox issues that you've been having then, the change of that overnight. Where exactly does that sort of lose you a bit of time, do you think?
I'd say quite a lot out of the hairpins, because with the other gearbox sequential 6 gears, we're using second to 6th, we're using it around here. Whereas here we're only, first is too short, fifth's too long. So I'm basically using second to 4th. So I'm only using 3 gears compared to 5 gears. So coming up the hairpins you're losing, and coming up the hill for old hairpin I'm having to sort of, it's between 3rd and 4th. So I'm having to sort of leave it in 4th and just try to carry as much speed as I can. But yeah, it makes it harder.
Harder, but not massively slow. See, Will, we'll let you get back to the pictures inside. Thanks for having a catch-up with us there.
Thank you.
So, Will Stacey then, right in the thick of the battle. Let's get back to the action with Ian and Josh upstairs.
Thanks, Andy. And there is the car that Will Stacey was in until a few moments ago. Now being driven by Rob Boston, effectively the leader of the race. Chris Baskin still showing at the top of the time screen, having yet to make a stop. So 18 minutes or so in order to do that. Then is Boston second, Oswald third, Bob Baker in fourth, Phil Driver in fifth, Mark Rice is in, that guy's in sixth, Martin Gadsby is seventh, and Darren Thorne is in eighth position.
Yeah, so we wait then for Chris Plaskett's pit stop, and then we will have an idea how Class B is going and whether Scott Parkin can wrap up the Club Enduro Championship with a round to go at Silverstone. That is a possibility, I think, if Scott Parkin wins the race. And Plaskett's in the pits, isn't he? So I would think Scott Parkin should be ahead by the time that will ravel its way out, but we'll have to wait and see. And we know for one of the twin brothers, it's not gone well. Ryan Parkin retired on lap 2 with that issue. But it's possible the championship in Class B and the overall title could be wrapped up with a round to go. But here's our leader then, and leading gapping. It's not a big gap at all. It's 5.6 seconds between Rob Boston and Joel Oswick. Oswick was half a second quicker on the previous lap. We've been green flag racing for about an hour now, and so little to be chose between these two very different cars. You've got the small engine, lightweight Lotus. You've got the bigger, heavier but much larger capacity BMW. But even with the pit stop, absolutely nothing to be chose between these two cars really in 5 seconds over such many laps of the race.
Yeah, and there is the second of those side by side at the moment with the number 92 car, which is, what is that now?
Down to 13.
13th.
There then Scott Parkin in that 2010 Volkswagen Golf TDI. The diesel engine producing 270 brake horsepower, been turned into a diesel engine car by Darkside Motorsport, Darkside Developments, which Scott Parkin is the owner of with twin brother Ryan. So Parkin turned his way out of Coppy's corner. He was the winner in the opening round as one of the most recent 2 rounds, as well as Spa-Francorchamps and Snetterton 2. And when he gets to the line, we will see if he has moved ahead of Chris Plaskett into the lead on Class B, which we'll have to both plug numbers into our spreadsheets in the final minutes of this race here. But I think that is a potential championship winning position if Scott Parkin does win Class B today.
I think the plastic first.
Yeah, just sort of.
So it is
I don't know if we can unzoom to see that other car still in the pit lane and see if that car, Chris Blaskett's still in the pit lane. Once we see that in a moment, though, if that is the case, Scott Parkin has just taken the lead of Class B. Perhaps pick that up in just a moment's time. But if that is the case, that is an important change of position in that class. Well, it's not in the pits anymore, is it, Chris Blaskett's car?
No, but the car that is in the pits is the number 15 car, which is the Phil Dreyfus car.
There it is, Blaskett just out the pit lane, so Parkin should be ahead, shouldn't he? And that's the second in Class B, absolutely together, so this is a change for second as Linklavich goes up the inside and through. So out of the pit lane, Chris Blaskett came out in second, but not immediately up to speed where Linklavich was, and he has just snuck then into second place in Class B. He's just set his personal best lap while doing it. He is currently 20 seconds behind Scott Parkin, so Scott Parkin does lead the class and potentially on the run towards winning the 2023 TDI Club Enduro Championship.
Yep, certainly is. Situation, yes, as I thought, the car 15, that has got a stop go penalty and Gillespie was wasn't pushed down correctly.
So Martin Gadsby is up to 5th. This is a great run he's having, isn't it? It's solo driven today, and he's 9 seconds ahead of Darren Paul, who might be catching him though, so that is a chase for 5th. But we are watching the battle for second place in Class B. This battle between Linklavich and the chasing car of Chris Blaskett, the 32-year-old car dealer from Surrey, trying to get that position back away. He's had a decent season. He was a winner at Anglesey in that area motorsport car. Jabba Sports golf ahead, and they are about 20 seconds behind class leader Scott Parkin. And the third car in this battle is also more position. Alan James in the Audi RS3 is chasing them down. The four-time bronze medalist Paralympian skier Matthew Stockford's got out of the car, and Alan James is much more experienced car racer at the wheel, and he should be able to move ahead of these two Class B cars shortly.
Yes, he's doing first and best lap times as well. 1:23.1 the last time through. With the driver very well, the team
Alan James has got it up into 10th ahead of Chris Blaskett there. Now, can Blaskett make anything of Alan James when he gets ahead of Linklavich? Can he follow him through for second in Class B? They've also got the race leader, Will Stacey, bearing down on them to lap them for a second time in this race.
Blaskett to the question to make it. James can't get through ahead of Linklavich either. That attempt, he will have another go on the road down to the Melbourne hairpin. Second in that class. The third car in Class C,
Boston screaming his way past this battle for 9th position at the moment and completes 51 laps off the Donington Park Grand Prix circuit, and he's now leading gap down to 4.3 seconds over Joel Oswick. Obviously Joel will have to deal with this traffic. On the next lap, he's pushing on, he's sliding the car out of Redgate Corner, that BMW M4. So a really fascinating chase on up front between these top two cars, working their way through that battle on the four-track position for 9th position. And they're all actually catching Paul Browns in 8th, so Alan James might be able to pick up another position before very much longer.
So to go.
And they're all being caught by Andrew Rapp as well. He's pitch to run. So you've got 8th, 9th, 10th, 11th and 12th separated by less than 10 seconds.
Yeah, you're right.
Yeah, he's with Plastic now, isn't he, for what is about an 11th position in the race. But I guess Raph's real car that he's chasing Alan James and Paul Brown is quicker than both at this stage.
This race down to
I think he was a little late on the brakes.
it was a little late on the brakes, very deep into the corner. So what you hoped to is back behind the basket.
Gap down to 3.5 seconds, another second caught by Joel Oswald, so that's 2 laps in a row. So that's the gap the smallest it's been since the pit stopped between our top 2 cars in the race with 25 minutes to go.
Well, she traffic's been the fans the road. A second. There is the car in 3rd position, which is lucky with similar lap times to the car in 2nd place, nearly 30 seconds up the road. So Baker not making any impression on the top 2. Probably needs to hope now that he's had some kind of misfortune if he's going to get 2nd place.
Without that 30-second penalty, it would be super close, wouldn't it, between those top 3 cars, but that's how the success rules go. We're going to have a battle for 5th in the race emerging because Martin Gadsby is being caught quickly by Darren Ball. So 117, Martin Gadsby being caught by 82, Darren Ball. So we're looking for that battle at the moment. We're separated by a couple of seconds, but Darren Ball's been doing personal best laps and he's quickly catching Martin Gadsby's BMW Compact. So we're just looking out for these cars at the moment. And here they are, absolutely together for 5th position. So Gadsby in the BMW, Ball in the Seat, and it might just be a matter of time before Darren Ball gets through because he was lapping 3 seconds quicker than the car ahead. Good to have Darren Ball back in the series as well.
Yeah, we've seen the Porsche in the first half as well. He's been signalled through there by Martin Gadsby, so he didn't try to defend the position. And Darren Ball goes through into 5th place there. 22 seconds. Gadsby was reach at the beginning of the lap, so I think unwind that 15-second penalty that's being charged as
Okay. Change for 8, Alan James has got ahead of Paul Browns. That gap was coming down. And Andrew Rapp has also got past Kevin Glover to get 10th, and he's catching Paul Brown. So 22 and 92 might change on the next lap as well, I suspect. So Andrew Rapp is making good progress, and for Paul Brown he's losing position at this stage of the race.
Yeah, that's right. There's the one car. It's now being driven by
Lead gap down to 2.5 seconds. Another second caught by Joel Oswick.
Yeah, 1:41.24 that time for Joel Oswick. It's only 4 tenths best. Boston 1:42.16, which is 2 seconds off the best time for that car. Set by the Stacey.
Here's Oswick down the draining curve into the old hairpin. You can see the car is catching it for about 6 seconds. 20 minutes ago when the pit stops were completed, so it's been a long, hard chase. But in the last couple of laps, he has really been catching Rob Boston. Is Rob Boston nursing an issue at all at this stage? His lap time is still pretty good. It's just perhaps that Joel Oswick is even quicker. He's keeping his tyres underneath him. I don't think either of these cars changed tyres at the pit stops, unlike the car in third position, which did. So Joel Oswick, the 21-year-old mechanic from Hertfordshire, there in second place. You can see Will Stacey ahead well, Boston even ahead of him. The 41-year-old, three-time Ginetta Super Cup race winner from Boston, Mazda champion as well. Being chased though by Oswick behind. The Stanley-backed BMW M4, twin turbocharged machine.
Yeah, it's good. Exciting finish to this race, isn't it? It's good. There's 5 minutes of the pit break there. It's the academic centre of that. Pit stops. This race. So, it's 2.6 seconds now. Joel Oswick has just done the best lap. That car in place of 140.82, but on that last lap, Boston was 140.73, so about 9/10 of a second faster. Not as quick as that car has been earlier in the race. So they got pretty static on that lap. Boston much realising that he just needed to raise his game. Oswick started to bear down 2.5 seconds between his third and second lap. Oswick in second place, still pushing on, and Rob Baker in third place. Just to look down the classes, it is still Scott Parker in seventh place overall, 29 from TDI leading. Class B from the Golf GTI, Schlebbitz, third. And in Class C, it's Kale Kelson in 53, leads by about 15 seconds from Paul Subiani.
It's coming down.
It has come down, yes, that.
Yeah, so that gap I think was at least 20 when we last looked at it. Joel Oswick is sliding around a lot now, so that probably won't do the rear tyres terribly much good, I'm sure. But at this point, just trying ever so hard to get this first win for this car in the Club Enduro Championship. Boston then up across the line. The gap was 2.6 seconds. Boston in the 40s, a 1 minute 40.84. Oswick 800 slower. The speed differential of these cars is nothing really in it at all. It's going to come down to traffic in, I think, and how smoothly they get past the other cars.
It's getting pretty static the last couple of laps then, 2.5 to 4 seconds.
Damage to the rear of the car, I think. Maybe just the bumper hanging off here. That's what it is.
Second place, number 2. Has had a couple of third places so far this season. Twice so far this year is Boston.
Mark Price will beat a fall into 6th with a slow lap, 2 minutes 20. Whether that was a drive-through penalty or a mistake, I think there it is. So Darren Hall's up to 4th. That's going to be a good result for him and Ben Williams. And 5th is Martin Gadfrey. There's Alan James in 8th. He's been caught by Andrew Rapp, who's got himself up to 9th and ahead of Paul Browns.
Yeah, it's 12 seconds. Class B lead has got Parker as well.
Lead gap came down by 4/10 of a second on that lap. It's now 2.3 seconds between Boston and Oswick, with just over 15 minutes of the race to go. Both the 41s on that lap. They both snapped Scott Parkin, the Class B leader. Champion-elect, I think. Must have been a spreadsheet for this one or not. Let's agree with what I think might happen here. Okay, so I'll keep an eye on what's going on the circuit with Around 15 minutes or so to go. Quarter of an hour. There is Scott Parkin then, who we're talking about, the Class B leader, looking for his 4th victory of the season in the 89 Volkswagen Golf. Looking back at the other car. Yeah, let's have a look at Scott Parkin and looking for his 4th win this season. So far he's had 3 wins, a 2nd and a 5th in Class B. The driver from Barnsley in South Yorkshire turns his way through the S's, accelerates now up towards the Melbourne Loop for what is lap number 56 of his race. He leads Class B by around 20 seconds at this stage, so looks like it's keeping that gap pretty similar. Looking back to Class C, this is Paul Sabiani, who is catching Carol Counts. The gap less than 13 seconds now between the 2 Class C leaders. Came down by 4/10 of a second on the most recent lap. Meanwhile, the overall leaders, the gap's down to 1.6 seconds. So Joel Oswick is nearly with Rob Boston now. For the last lap, he was 0.8 of a second quicker. So pretty substantial gains over the last 5 laps or so from Joel Oswick, car number 2, catching the leader, 48, Rob Boston. And here they are, both together almost on the circuit now. So they turn their way through the old hairpin for the 59th time in this race. Oswick's done the whole thing. Stacey started the Lotus, Rob Boston at the wheel now. There's quite a lot of traffic to deal with as well, including the battle. I think the 5th position in the race, Martin Gadsby and Will Beach about to go a lap down. So these will be difficult cars for the race leader, Rob Boston, to lap.
But it was in the spreadsheet, and I'm sure it's the championship there in the season today.
Yeah.
Who's got Parkin if he stays this way?
Overall championship of Class B.
Absolutely,
Yeah. So that's if Scott Parkin can hang on. And Rob Boston's been held up there through the S's substantially behind the Sayat of Will Beach, and Joe Oswick's right there now, so the top 2 are together on what is lap 59 of the race, and Oswick tries to go right around the outside of Rob Boston, and he can't quite get there, but Oswick went really wide. I think that was a big effort late on the brakes, but he's sleeping, but they still can't get past Will Beach, who of course is the Class A Championship leader, but he is about to go a lap down to what is a real battle for the lead of the race with less than 13 minutes to go.
Yeah, now the Lotus has cleared Beach, so Oswick will want to try and do that as well by the time he gets to Redgate Corner. Beach moves to the left-hand side of the circuit, I think does allow that to happen. Or does he? Oswick was getting almost alongside Boston as well there through Redgate Corner, so the gap was about half a second as they came across the line. Boston ahead of Oswick. They both cleared the lapped car now. They're just going to lap another car as well, which is the Gadsby car that's in 5th position. And again, they've got a car splitting at the 1st and 2nd place pair. So that's worked out for that was in favour of Rob Boston. 12 minutes of this race.
Well, hasn't. Oswick's fighting back here into McLean's. I think Mark Grice has also got part Martin Gadsby with, but anyway, the real battle is for the lead of the race. And this is Rob Boston versus Joel Oswick, the German Autoworks team that have put so much effort into this BMW M4, yet to win a race in the championship. And for Rob Boston and Will Stacey, they've had their difficulties in the most recent races, and he's got a really good run. He's got more power. He's looking to the outside, is Oswick, but Boston knows how to defend. He's won many races over the years here, not necessarily against different types of car like we've got here.
No, it's something that Oswick's less experienced in, but he'll be very comfortable with it. Nevertheless, there's back markers ahead as Oswick tries to get alongside Boston, and the Master gets out of the way, or tries to. That's third in Class C as well, was it? As they're side by side now, it's Oswick on the outside line, is later on the brakes, got the nose of the BMW in front of Boston. That lighter, more nimble car can just slide through on the inside. We've got 11.25 minutes left to go. It's probably going to be something like 6 laps of this race remaining. And now Oswick's having another go here as they come into Redgate Corner. They're lapping the 176-inch BMW now. And still, it's Boston that's just about hanging on. But this hasn't bubbled up into the conclusion we hoped for.
Yeah, the BMW quicker in a straight line. So particularly up to McLean's and down into the S's is where the BMW is able to challenge. So Rob Boston, we heard from Will Stacey with Andy McEwen saying they're not really able to take it through the right gear through the old hairpin, which means it's slower all the way up the hill. compared to what they would like it to be. They've got the Honda S2000 lap, and actually that time Boston made a better run of it out of the old hairpin and up the hill, so he's not under threat that time, but he is pushing on, he's up over the curves. Equally, they've got to be careful here not to exceed track limits, because we've seen penalties for a number of cars during the course of this race. We saw seeing everyone using a lot of road at the moment. But this lap, Rob Boston is perhaps put a little bit of daylight between himself and Joel Oswick where he needs to before the long straights, where that BMW's got a few miles per hour advantage.
But Dan Orsono, Honda S2000 that we saw a moment ago, that is leading the Club class as well by about 21 seconds, 22 seconds from Michael Downing. That's for the 2010 cars. As we are watching the big battle, not as close as it has been as part of the circuit on the previous 2 laps, but still a few laps to go. And now the Beach Hoover has stopped on the Grand Prix pit circuit, the old Grand Prix pit circuit entrance there.
Is the Class A Championship leading car?
It is, so that is Tron, but of course it was in position, wasn't it?
Was it fourth at one point, and I think it dropped to 6th, got back up to 5th. In fact, it was not a penalty earlier, it was a problem that we didn't see, but a much larger issue this time, it seems.
Yeah, so I think we tried to get that car from the road, but just couldn't quite pull it off the circuit there. So it's a late drop that car into the last 10 minutes of the race. Now there's the X9 car, Scott Parkin just going through shot. He's our Class B leader, 8th place overall, and reasonable advantage over Stebbins in 2nd place within that class. He just left cars in 3rd within Class C. It's the car now being driven by Thomas Steadman from Warwick.
Class A leaders just shot through there. Maybe Oswick a little bit closer again to Rob Boston than what he was on the previous lap, but not close enough to challenge, I don't think, this time. Well, the gap did go out to 1.6 seconds. It's come down from there, but it's not quite as close as it was 2 laps ago when they were side by side at times.
Yeah, but the last lap, Boston won 40.7, about 3/10 off the best lap of that car during this race. Stacey set the lap time was 1:40.39. Still haven't got into the that record from the top of this edge, which is 1:40.75. So 8 minutes of the race left. General Automotive car of Joel Oswick turning its way through. The teammate of that car, Cam Phelps, is still leading in Class C. Now that gap has been going down between Cam Phelps and Paul Simeone. Just trying to see if that's continuing to be the case. I don't think the gap makes this problem for Simeone. Well, they have been about 18 seconds of that went out by about 4 seconds. So Simeone a bit slow. I think the back and forth is for Class C. This is a real battle between Class A leaders for the overall as well.
And they've just got a lap count, so I think yellow. It says yellow's here, so they can't go past that slower car, then they get to a green zone because there's a car off. But Joel Oswick's now ahead. How's that happened? And now they're only back past, isn't he? I think he realised what happened there. So Joel Oswick let Rob Boston back past, but the battle for the lead is certainly engrossing again between the 2 of them. So a error, but corrected by Joel Oswick immediately to allow Boston back through, and now Boston weaving around, defending down towards the S's. Oh, Joel Oswick got a big attempt here around the outside, and on the tighter line. Oh, there we go. Well done, I think, by Rob Boston through the S's to carry a lot of speed through the corner, despite being on an awkward line, defending. So yeah, he's pulled an advantage out over Joel Oswick. So really good driving that by Rob Boston.
Boston is leading. Probably it's going to be 4 laps to go, I reckon. If this one, 4 laps to go. Now, I reckon over the line goes Boston, over the line goes Oswick. 1.05 seconds it was at the beginning of that, 2.3 seconds it was at the end of that, but it's still very much race on here between those 2 few drivers on that lap. We'll see if anything is done. If anything is done, congratulations. What is for the car on the circuit?
Oh, that's an issue. It's the Honda S2000. think, that was leading a couple of cup
yes,
divisions.
that's the time of sprint, hasn't it? That makes sense. It's sort of the right kind of shot. So Michael Down now moves into Clubman's Cup Class League. I suspect that might be enough to wrap up the title as well.
So the overall title would be going to this man here, Scott Parkin. He's in 8th position overall, but more importantly, leading Class B. Here come the leaders. Gap extended then with that bold effort down through the S's last time round for this driver here, Rob Boston. And he's 64th time in this race. It's headed down. He's back the car in 4th position, Darren Ball. So this really shows the pace of the top 3 have been in this race, although Rob Baker has got away from the top 2. Even without that 30-second success penalty, I don't think Rob Baker had the pace perhaps to live with Boston and Oswick. They're 40 seconds behind now, which is obviously more 30. That's easy enough to do. So I think it would have been between these two anyway, Ian, although back for Baker not further need to push on as much involved in the dice.
There is our Class C lead, and that is 53 Kel Peltz. I think he's going to be the first driver from Arizona to play the Class 3 in the ECU Club Enduro Championship. Rob Boston just took the best lap of the race there, a 140.13. Pulled out another 8 tenths of a second over Joel Osborne. So he is still pushing on, still keen to make sure he wins this race. But yes, Kel Peltz doing a great job here in this Class C. About 20 seconds clear of the next car in that class of also on in 3rd class. Just checking this is the first paper project, but he's still being steadfast on the next 5. Treble 3 car. Very good drive from Kel Peltz, came from the back towards the top 6 or 7 position for the Armed Forces Race Challenge races yesterday. He's a guest driver. Pretty accomplished drive this in Donington Park in his first Club Enduro round.
He's just being lapped by Martin Gadsby, who's still fit, but being caught by Alan James. Also being caught by Andrew Rattler, who's got a penalty to come. So it's all about in that battle, however Alan James can get past Martin Gadsby. For the lead of the race, the gap was 2 seconds between Boston and Oswick. Scott Parkin, who now leads by about half a minute in Class B, continuing on this run towards the 2023 to go on Club Enduro Championship title for a very successful season. Whether it's getting quite hot out there because he's down the long straight every time he has his arm out of the cockpit trying to get air to him. As Joel Oswick sets his personal best lap of the race, a 1 minute 40.71 with 2 laps to go, I think. So 2 laps to go. The gap is still only a couple of seconds. Just catching a car in the wrong place in traffic could bring them back together here.
Oswick closed in by a 10 that time, so he had a personal best lap of the race of 140.74. The gap down to less than 2 seconds therefore. So Oswick still has victory, sense of victory in his nostrils here. Could do this yet. Lap to half or so to go now. Probably means Boston to just make a small mistake somewhere along the way. They've both been lucky in really consistent lap times for laps. I'm not sure that Oswick can do this entirely on his own. He's been driving solo, of course. A great job he has done throughout the race. Looks like that first victory in Enduro this season is going to continue to elude me. He's got the 3rd victory. Just still several laps to go.
Yeah, that's right for how much traffic there may be to deal with before the checkered flag. They arrive down there at the Melbourne Leap once more. Turning through the hairpin. And then up to the second of the hairpins at Goddard's. That's where Boston already is. And the last lap board goes out to the leader.
Yeah, just over a minute to go. The gap might have gone out again, if anything. So it was 140.05. 140.05, another fastest lap for Rob Boston on the penultimate lap of the race. It was a slower lap by 2.5 seconds for Joel Oswick. So the gap's now more than 4 seconds between first and second. So I'm not sure we're going to get a grandstand finish. There's Scott Parkin. He's still leading Class B and looking good, I would think. Championship. Stay there for
even though the gap has gone out, it's going to be one of the closest finishes of the championship history, and it's been one of the where Croft, that was the back beginning of the race, wasn't it? This race has been sort of right to the checkered flag, which has been great to see. And some interesting stuff going on in the other classes too. Scott Park is really there from the start of Class B. In Class C we had that drama for Alistair Camp. Potential collision, which is giving Carol Kelts his chance to lead the class. He's really pulling away from Paul Saviani now. He's doing very slow lap times, so the gap is pretty large in Class C. Saviani didn't pin the BMW home, but for Rob Boston is only limping this home. He is pushing on right to the last couple of corners, and this is going to put Will Stacey right back into the hunt for the Class A Championship, as Rob Boston's done a great job in this final few laps to keep Joel Oswick at bay, and he heads then towards the final corner, looking for the car's third win of the year.
Yeah, the first win came from Croft, that was Will Stacey driving solo on that occasion. The second win came from Anglesey, Croft was sharing the car with I've had these gearbox issues this weekend, but no matter, because Will Stacey and Rob Boston win round 6 of the TDI Club Enduro Championship. It's been a very closely fought race. Second place goes the way of Joel Oswick, a best result for Joel, but just missing out on the victory he would have hoped for. Going through there, the 4th place car win that was, wasn't it? Number 82.
Darren Ball and Ben Williams.
Well. So yeah, Ben Williams on the car, Darren Ball finished it. Here's our Class B victor, and this is Scott Parkin. He's in 8th place overall. If he finishes where he is now, as he looks like he's going to, that's the overall to get on the Enduro Championship, so reason to go.
Yeah, a really good effort this in a very competitive class. The 4th win of the season in Class B, and adding that to a second place finish as well. That's going to be his 5 scoring point, but no one else can beat. Heading to Silverstone. So Scott Parkin, we think, the 2023 to give our Club Enduro champion.
James, 7th, number 92, Phil Nib, although he has a 15-second penalty, that will drop him back to 8th place behind Scott Parkin at the end. Scott Parkin, number 89, wins in Class B to wrap up the overall championship.
Now, Scott Parkin, class winner in Class B. You had a far less stressful race from the outside, it seemed, anyway, than our Class A winners. Was it as calm and reassured as it looked?
Yeah, well, the guys just said now why we were going so fast every lap when they had such a big gap, but I'd lost radio comms. They were holding a pit board and I could see there were a big gap. But you just never know with this, you know. There's no point slowing right down, losing the gap. All you need is a little issue and cost you quite a bit of time. So yeah, just kept pushing. But then towards the end, I was looking at the fuel gauge, it were on 0 for like the last 3 laps. So I've never run it that low down, so I wasn't sure how long it would last. So I was just doing lifting and coasting, short, shifting, as much as I could. So the lap times dropped off, which is a bit of a shame because I would have liked to have gone for the lap record. I think the car had it in it, or about 6 tenths off, I think. So yeah, it's a shame that I didn't go for it, but yeah, better finishing the race than going for the fastest lap and losing. So
exactly. I saw you having a chat as well with Ryan during the pit stop, and obviously he didn't have quite such a good day. At least you've been able to bring something back for the team.
Yeah, exactly. We had a good day yesterday. It's a shame that Dylan didn't get to go in the car, especially after last time he sat in it. It died after 1 lap. So we've clearly got some sort of gremlin that needs sorting out, and hopefully we get that sorted for the end of the season, because that might be my car next year. So fingers crossed we can get everything ironed out over the winter.
Good stuff. Thank you very much, Scott. Congratulations on the class win. Now.